Good day, everyone, and welcome to Vivid. Today's webinar is What's New in ALM, Enhancing Your Team's Efforts to Deliver Amazing Applications. We've got a number of demos today, so should be an exciting session. The team of speakers today from Micro Focus, Oren Zip, Colin Chow, Esther Ballesteri is the team that will be involved in today's presentation. The webinar is brought to you by Micro Focus, getting used to saying that now this month, and not having to think about the previous company. Hello, I'm Rocky Pisto. I'm a Vivid Lug and SIG leader. I'll be your moderator today. And again, this is the team that's presenting. This is a live session. It's being recorded so that you can see it after the fact. And we may not have time to answer questions online just because we have so much content, so many demos, but feel free to ask questions in the question panel, and we'll get those answered. And when we update the slide deck after the event in a few days, you'll get the slide deck, you'll get the recording of this webinar, as well as answered questions. So make sure you take advantage of that. And what's neat about this platform today is that if you're here from a different country and would like to type in your questions in your own language, you'll see a little button on the left-hand side. Currently, I think it's the American flag. Click on it, find your language, and you're able to put in the content in your own language, which is pretty neat, and then we can translate it from there. And with that, Esther, I think I'm handing it off to you.
Thanks, Rocky, and thanks everyone for joining us today for this What's New in ALM session. I want to start by welcoming you all to the new Micro Focus. As you know, the spinoff from HPE and the merger with Micro Focus is now officially complete. And this is the start of an exciting new chapter for us. The new combined Micro Focus is one of the largest pure-play software companies in the world. And our charter is to put our customers at the center of innovation and deliver high-quality, enterprise-grade, scalable software. In today's session, we will discuss hybrid application development with ALM QC and ALM Octane. Then Oren Zib will cover what's new in ALM QC 12.55 and give a product demo. And then Colin Chow will cover what's new in ALM Octane 12.55. As Rocky mentioned, we have a lot to cover in the next 60 minutes, and we want to keep the meeting focused, so we may not have time for live Q&A, but we do invite you to ask questions in the chat, and if there's time at the end, we will answer them live, or we'll follow up with you after the webinar. So I want to get started by talking a little bit about hybrid application delivery. So there are dynamic changes happening in the market which are changing the approach to software development. So historically, software development has been driven by core IT with a focus on ensuring security, performance, and limiting the cost and number of defects and incidents. This requires a waterfall development process with support for an independent quality and assurance organization, manual as well as automated testing, traditional requirements documentation, and stringent workflows. These types of projects have longer release cycles, so this approach is best suited for projects where governance, not speed, is key to success. ALM and QC continue to be the best-of-breed tools to support these waterfall projects. But with the digital revolution, however, came the advent of Agile, which shifts the focus from IT requirements to customer demands in order to provide a positive user experience and remain competitive. Most of the customers we talk to are on this path and moving towards a water scrum fall methodology, where QA is closer to the development team, test automation is accelerated, and the approach to requirements and development is iterative, leading to shorter release cycles. Micro Focus ALM Octane has been added to the ALM suite to support these agile projects. From here, the next step is to evolve to fluid IT and DevOps, where you become completely agile. Here, DevOps and Q&A are one team, test automation is continuous, and the requirements are 100% agile. Continuous integration means you can release daily or even hourly. Now, while DevOps is the goal for many of us, there are only a handful of companies doing this successfully today. These are the companies who are built from the ground up to embrace DevOps and be agile, like LinkedIn and Salesforce and Google. The reality is that traditional waterfall remains the leading delivery vehicle for most companies as they start to introduce agile into their organizations. The transformation is a journey, and you need tools that work together to support the spectrum of hybrid environments as you make the shift. The Micro Focus ALM suite is designed to do just that, with ALM QC for your waterfall projects and ALM Octane for your agile and DevOps projects. And now I'm going to hand off to Oren, who will walk you through what's new in ALM QC 12.55. Oren?
Thank you, Esther. Hi, everyone. In today's session, we'll zoom in on ALM QC, as Esther mentioned, and its complementary tools in our latest release, 12.55, made public just last month. During the evolution of the product, we keep in mind two main personas. One is our thousands of end users, and the other one is the many ALM site and project admins that are running ALM in the organizations. As we're going to see, we keep this in mind while planning new features, and we try to focus on requests coming from you, our customers. Let's start with some user and team-related features. So the first feature I'd like to talk about today is the new test board view, presented as a new tab under the test lab module. Allows a centralized and aggregated view of all test instances under a certain level in the test lab tree. So until this version, a tester could have seen his or her tests under the test set level only, and had to navigate between diverse test sets in order to review all of his or her assignments. Starting this version, ALM allows the user to get an aggregated view of all test instances under a given folder level of the test lab tree. So on the screenshot that you see on the screen, the tester can filter by his or her name and see all assignments under a certain cycle, or if going one level up in the tree, the tester will see a higher aggregation level. On this example, assignments in the entire release level. In addition, manual tests can be executed using the Run button at the top of the screen, so manual testers can have a one-stop shop for all test runs. So why talking too much? Let's go for a live demo, our first live demo for today on ALM 12.55. I'll share the screen in a second. And Esther, can you confirm my screen is shared? Or Rocky? So
You have,
Yes.
there you go.
all right, thank you. So here is the ALM 12.55. You'll be able to see that it had made some facelift. It looks a little different in coloring and other areas, but it's the same ALM, good and old ALM. So let's start with test board. So as a team leader or a manager responsible for the test execution or a test project, I would want to know always what is the status of progress and the test statuses, etc., in my team. So an old feature that we have not everyone is aware of, and I want to highlight, this is a relatively old feature. We call it live analysis, where you can get a view of your test project, the individual in the team, the tests that are running, the different statuses of the test execution on the test lab. With this version, we've added another tab called the test board, which is here. And this allows an aggregation of all test instances under the folder level. So if this folder, in this example, represents a release, it will be an aggregation of all test instances in assignments under the different cycles or the lower folders on this example. So if I am a team leader on our use case, I would probably want to group those as responsible tester. So if I group this by the responsible tester, I'll easily see that my team in terms of assignments and balancing between on this release is quite balanced. Looks like James needs to do a little more in order to make a full good balancing in the team. So basically, test board can be filtered and grouped on every view or in every folder level. If I am a tester, for example, and I would want to know what tests are assigned to me in a context of a folder. So if I am a tester named Yield, for example, then I could just filter and very easily see all the assignments and everything that is assigned to me on the release level. Or if I want to go cycle by cycle, I can get the assignment. So it's very easy for new engineers or for testers who just don't care about test sets and all that, can have a stop here on the cycle level and see all their assignment on the cycle or the release. And if they want, they can also click the run button and execute any manual test directly from this aggregative view. Right. This is our first demo for today. So keeping individuals and teams' productivity in mind, this version is the first to announce the integration with Microsoft Skype for Business, which is one of the most popular collaboration tools within the enterprise industries and is truly used by many of you today. With this feature turned on, the user will be able to easily see the availability of other stakeholders within the defect, test, or any other entity, start a chat or a call with any other individual, or start a chat with part or all of the stakeholders related to the entity. At the beginning of that chat, the entity ID, as you can see here on the screen, the entity ID and its title will appear, so the other party would have a context to the discussion, and in addition, a TD link is added to the chat, so everyone can really go and navigate to ALM. Future versions, this will be replaced by an HTTP link. So let's see how this works and how it can make teams more connected and productive. I'm sharing my screen again. And now let's go for the defects module and let's pick up.
Give it a second. We can see now. We can see now.
All right, so thank you. So here is the defect that I'm looking into, and possibly I am the QA engineer, and I want to see who detected it. It looks like Gil detected, and Gil is currently in a yellow status. Esther is in this meeting. She's in a busy status, but and I can get all the details around her name, her number, her phone, her organizational hierarchy. And if I click on this button, I can see the entire list of stakeholders related to this ticket. So if this is, for example, an emergency call, an emergency defect, and I can start a group chat with everyone or just with somebody on the ticket. I'll start with Esther so you can see how it works. So here is my Skype window opens up, and Esther, you probably can see that on your side that you got, yeah. So Esther already knows that this is my question and what's the status of this one, and I already get an answer. We saved a lot of time. We saved a lot of email work. So now we can just connect on Defect 88 with its title, with its TD link. Very easy to collaborate within a team, one-on-one or as a team group on various situations. All right. So we talked so far about new features for our end users. Now let's look at the admins. So the admins on this session are probably aware to the fact that exporting projects, which contains a database and a repository, can be exported into a single QC project file, or what we call a QCP file. And up until now, a QCP file size was limited by 4 GB. We have removed this limitation And with ALM 1255, any data size can be basically exported as a QCP file. So this fact can allow a transition of projects from server to server without an involvement of a DB admin or any other stakeholder. So the ALM admin can control the whole process of moving projects from server to server, including the database and a repository, all in one. An easier switch between database types can be used. This feature project backup or project parking or archiving of projects. At the moment, there is no change from past versions where an import of a QCP file is allowed only on the same ALM version, but in the future, this feature will let us offer an import between different versions. Another significant enhancement on this version is the ability to share the pool of ALM license with our ALM Octane. If you own ALM license, you basically have ALM Octane Enterprise for free. So you can now enjoy the entire hybrid suite, as Esther mentioned before, using the same license you already own. So with ALM 1255, you can reserve a portion of licenses for Octane, and the number of users allocated will be reserved for Octane and can be dynamically extended or reduced. License sharing with Octane is also available with all the versions of ALM, and that's based on some patches. So for more details on the patches, you can see here 12.21 patch 5, but there are also hot fixes on 12.53. Please contact our customer support for more details. So license sharing between QC Enterprise and ALM Octane Pro is coming soon. With the growing demand for cloud computing, ALM 1255 server has been certified to be deployed on Amazon Web Services, including not just a virtual computing infrastructure, but also several AWS services, such as RDS as a database service, and at the moment an Oracle based only, file system based on EFS service, and others. So you can now build your ALM environment on the cloud, on the AWS cloud. And in fact, the demo that I'm showing you today is running on AWS and RDS service. So you have a really live demo on an ALM deployed on AWS. So you can find more details about this environment in our system requirements page, appears here. I'm seeing a lot of questions. We'll try to answer those most probably offline, depends on the time that we have in the end, but we'll do our best to answer all questions that appear here. In addition to Amazon AWS, we keep enhancing our technology support. So this version has been certified to support Windows Server 2016 on both server and client. MS SQL Server 2016, Microsoft IIS 10 as a web server, and Windows 10 with its latest Creators upgrade, Creators update, sorry, after applying a fix provided by Microsoft. And now to some features and enhancements that were requested directly by customers, and we thought that are good enhancement to the entire users community. The first one is a security related, and is the ability to connect ALM with an SMTP mailing server over SSL. The other one, related to compliance and auditability, is a feature which collects the history of attachment activities. The history table will now collect all CRUD activities made with attachments such as attachment added, renamed, deleted, etc. Another two usability enhancements that are available today is the ability to get a full username as a tooltip. I think that will help you know who is who in an organization, especially in very large organizations where usernames are not that meaningful, so you can see the full username as a tooltip. And a feature which allows in project reports the name of the test tab and the name of the test from which a step was called. So in a case you have a call test and a test that is coming from a call test, you will be able to see the name of the call test, not just the name of the step itself. This is something missing, and some of our customers requested this to be added. For the sake of our workflow experts, I guess there are some workflow experts here, we have added a new workflow object named All Tree Selection. With this object, you may query the UI and get a list of currently selected tree entities in all of the active views within the same module. On this example, as you can see here, you can get the item selected on the test lab tree and the list of all selected test instances on the right-hand grid. So this workflow can be used, for example, to prevent the removal of some test instances for certain test sets. Right? So full documentation is available online, and you can find this on this very link here. Now for something that many were waiting for, and that's related to managing the life cycle of highly regulated applications and projects. So some industries need to follow very strict regulations regarding the auditability of changes and reliability of individuals to changes. One good example is the pharma industry, which needs to follow the FDA regulations and digitally sign on changes made in ALM. For this sake, we have just released an ALM electronic signature or e-signature predefined project covering the defects module, providing a paperless yet fully traceable and auditable process where defect entities can be electronically signed following every human interaction applied on a defect. For example, if I'm owning a defect and I'm trying to change its status from fixed to closed, all right, if I'm a QA engineer and I'm now moving a defect from fixed to closed, I'll need to digitally sign on the change. So it's trackable and auditable. This predefined project is what we call a quick start project provided by our professional services and enables you to use e-signature capabilities on defects. The quick start project can be downloaded free of charge from our marketplace. You have all the links here. And in order to extend the solution to all other parts of ALM other than the defects module, you may contact our service professional services on software. So, as I said, we'll open the stage for some questions if time allows in the end. But we have a lot to show you today, so I'm continuing right to the next part of this What's New session and would want to talk about the complementary tools coming with ALM. ALM is always developed side by side with many tools and integrations. Let's see some of our lately released pieces of software coming with ALM. I hope many of you got already exposed to our new ALM solution named Quality of Things, or QOT. For those who aren't, I'm very happy to share QOT with you, as well as some of its new features in our latest 1.3 release. This solution lets manual tests stored in ALM to run from a mobile device in an online or even offline mode. We believe that the common use case for QOT are environments which are not pure software, such as embedded hardware and software environments, or any physical thing or device in the world of IoT. QOT is a lean web application, and I'll show you that in a second, is a lean web application connects to ALM and lets manual testers run manual tests when online, or in case of a test should be taken into the field or a field lab or anywhere where connection to the server is unavailable. So QOT can be used in its offline mode. So in an offline scenario, instead of printing or using Excel workbooks, the user can download a set of tests that can be executed offline, and later to get test results uploaded back to the ALM server when reconnected. QOT also lets users report new defects in either online or offline modes. So QOT can be installed on Android tablets or on Windows-based laptops and tablets, as appears on the list here. You can download and try QOT from our marketplace free of charge, as appears on the link here. If you want, you can just use the link here. It will be provided with the session later on, or you can just search Google for ALM QOT. Here is how it looks like, and I'll show you a live demo in a second. A snapshot of a test run. This is what's in front of us. This is an example of a test run of QOT. As you can see, a very lean view of the test steps at the left panel. So a tester can select whether a step succeeded or failed simply by swiping the finger over the step's name. And the expected and actual results fields are at the right side, where the tester can report actual results or report a new defect, clicking on the Add Defect. One word about our very, very latest release, 1.3, just released last week. So with version 1.3, we have added the ability to capture photos using the device camera on Android tablets. In case there are images stored as part of the expected results, those images will be shown as part of the test step, and I'll show you how it looks like in a second. An ability to download a few test sets in parallel and even in the background, and an enhanced fields configuration and other features. So let's see QOT 1.3 in action. I'll start my presentation, screen sharing, and I'll start. Yeah?
It's coming.
So can you confirm? Just let me know when you can see the screen share. All right, thank you. So the entire installation of QOT is very simple. It's just a zip file. Here it's unzipped. And this is in the case of Windows. In case of Android, it's just an APK installation. And that's the APK for Android. So with the Windows version, in this example, I just run QOT.exe. And here I'm logging in. And this is actually connects exactly to the same server I just demonstrated on the previous demo. Same project, and I'm logged in. So all these are live test sets under my test lab. Right? These are the folders under my test lab. And I'm going to take one of the examples here. Let's take this folder with functionality, and let's test our UI. And here is the first test I want to run. I can see that the last run status was failed. Let's see how it works now. So I drill down from the test lab view onto the test set and the test instance that I'm planning to run. And I'm currently online connected to my server. And I click on the run button, and I'm here in the test. Here is my list of test steps. Here is the description of the step, the expected results. So I should open my browser in this example and navigate to my application. Here is how it should look like. If it doesn't look like that, I can fail the step. But in this case, let's say it's succeeded. I can swipe my finger here and just select succeeded. I go to the next step, and for example, can decide that this step failed. I can choose it either from here or from here, and I can add a description saying that it failed, that has failed, or I can also report a defect from this step. So this is a defect, severity high, and I add some description here, and I submit the defect that will be added as number 155 to my project in ALM. And now, let's say that I need to go on a field, I need to go to one of my branches, or I need to test my machinery or my IoT device where my ALM is not connected. I'm not connected through my VPN or whatever it is, and I need to go an offline scenario. I it will happen automatically if I just disconnect from the web or from the ALM server, or I can just click this button in order to get offline. So now I'm getting offline. Oh, sorry, my mistake. I'll need to go back online, because before we do that, my apologies, I forgot one important step, and that's when I plan to go offline, I first need to download some test sets in order to run when I'm offline. So I'm going to my test set folder, same place where we were, and let's say that I'll download these two, and I click on the download button. So you can see that tests are downloaded in parallel. I can even close this dialog box and let it download in the background and keep working on QOT. So now I have a list of downloaded test sets, and I'm safe to go offline. So when I'm offline, I'll just go directly to the test folder and the test set, and let's take one of the tests here, and I'll just run the test. And as you can see, the experience offline, and as you can see here in the indicator at the top, is exactly the same as when I am online. So if I pass the step here, or I fail the step here, or I report a defect still offline, okay, I submit the defect, and I end the run here. Now let's say that I'm getting back to my office, and I am getting back online. I need, of course, to log in. So what I can see here is that my downloaded test sets are still here. We have new results, one test that failed on this test set. I can see my defects, one defect that was reported online, one defect that was reported offline, and I can even still update my defect before it goes live. And then let's upload the results. Now I can upload the test runs back to ALM to let ALM know that these tests run. All right. And if I go to my ALM instance, you'll be able to see that under the runs, there will be new runs that were created by ALM QOT just right now in either offline or online mode. So there was an online test and several offline executions. So this is our QOT solution, and you are more than welcome to download it from our store in the marketplace. Let's continue to another very popular tool, is our ALM synchronizer. So for those of you who are using the synchronizer, I'm happy to let you know that we've just released the Synchronizer 1255, which represents a support for Jira 7.3 and 7.4 and a support for TFS 2017. And that's in addition to Jira 733 and RTC 6, which were presented in our previous sync pack on top of 1253. So again, downloadable from our marketplace on the link below. Lastly, I want to make sure all participants are aware of one of our cool features, very useful. We call it Global Search, which is public more than a year now, and is a kind of a Google-style search tool, which I personally can tell that I'm using like hourly or daily even during my use of ALM as a user. So with ALM Global Search, you basically can index the entire database of ALM and then very easily search across your project or even cross projects if you're running ALM licenses. And let's just have a quick view on ALM Global Search. So once installed, you'll see a magnifier icon here at the top. Click on Global Search. Let it load for a second. And here is my global search. I can easily find whatever I want. Let's find the word Mercury, as an example. And I can limit the search for my demo projects on this case, or I can extend it to other projects. And with this example, okay, I got the results. I can see there are very quickly 310 results. Can split those by defects, requirements, test plan, test sets. You can see that there are many, even in analysis items. So let's take an example here. For example, this requirement. As you can see, the name of the ID of the requirement, the name, a quick preview of different important fields, and a quick view of the entity itself. And then I can, for example, I want to see only requirements that are.
I think we're just still seeing your slide. We haven't seen back in the demo screen.
Oh, sorry, there was yeah, I see there is, yeah.
There you go, sure. Thanks.
Thanks. Just let me know when it is visible, because I thought I shared it and for some reason it didn't start, so just let me know.
There you go.
Okay, I just mentioned before that you'll have a magnifier at the top here in ALM. Clicking on the magnifier will just take you into the ALM Global Search. So if I search, as an example, Mercury, and I'll get the results with all the preview items and the important fields here, ID, name, and of course a link that will take me back into ALM. If I click on the link, it will just take me back to ALM so I can really view and work on the entity that is relevant to me. I can filter the results by the types, so defects, requirements, test plan, even analysis items, as in the example here, that containing the free text search. So very easy, very powerful search across different projects. I can, as I mentioned, I can select which projects I want to get a result on. So it's a cross-project solution. And let's look at the requirements. If I want to limit the results, and I can add a filter and limit the results, let's say, for the target cycle here. So one of our latest features is the ability to see a complex field like a target cycle in a list, and I can limit it, for example, for cycle 1, and now I get only 54 requirements related to this cycle. Of course, I can filter by time, past year, past month, exactly, etc. So this is ALM Global Search. That's the last feature I want to share today. I think it's important to make sure that everyone is aware of this feature. I believe it's very, very powerful, and I recommend you to download and try this feature from our marketplace. Again, it's free of charge. All right. Closing. This was our What's New part for ALM QC 1255 and its complementary tools. If you're already on any of the 12.5x versions, you'll get all these enhancements without a need to upgrade your projects. And now I want to ask Colin to talk about the other side of our hybrid house, ALM Octane 1255. So, Colin.
Thank you, Aaron. Hey, folks. Let me set the stage by saying that, adopting Agile DevOps within the application portfolio space to be able to work at quality and scale across a hybrid application development environment can be very, very, very challenging, right? And this is an area where ALM Octane shines. Hello, everyone. My name is Colin, and I'm the product marketing lead for ALM Octane. Let me start by saying that ALM Octane, we are in the business of helping Agile teams deliver quality applications with speed and scale. And we do so today by managing quality in code builds to continuously automate task management at enterprise scale across a complex application portfolio. Now, where ALM Octane works best is within a hybrid application development environment, where unlike others, we provide an integrated ALM toolchain that offers traceability and visibility across the SDLC. Now, all this is while embracing choice within the CI/CD development pipeline. We help within a framework of business standards that help provide enterprise governance and compliance. And how we go about doing so? This is all made possible by the way we plan, build, test, and track to enable teams to deliver software with speed, quality, and scale. And we start by planning for the Agile enterprise by offering methodology agnostic support for both waterfall and Agile projects, from team level to program and enterprise portfolio, and to the way that we build quality in the code to be able to trace and integrate code changes continuously into the application development tool chain, right? And how we test continuously for application release. This is about accelerating continuous automated testing for quality in application builds at enterprise scale. And this is followed by the way we track, the way we track enterprise-ready projects by providing end-to-end quality traceability from requirements to release that is driven by quality and progress metrics. Today, ALM Octane is offered in two flavors. One, ALM Octane Pro, and two, ALM Octane Enterprise. The difference is essentially this. ALM Octane Pro is about being enterprise ready. This is about helping QA teams and developers being able to code more with less by delivering quality applications while working at enterprise scale across the tens and hundreds of teams in the business. This is about helping your businesses manage traditional waterfall development as they move to hybrid application development with confidence. Right? This is going beyond simple work item tracking to be able to provide visibility and traceability with predictive insights in end-to-end lifecycle management reporting. Right? We enable business processes and rules that help provide governance and compliance as teams embrace choice. And we acknowledge this, that teams will embrace choice in terms of technologies and standards in the development pipeline as they plan, build, test, and track to application releases. Now, off the back of ALM Octane Pro, we kicked it up a notch higher with ALM Octane Enterprise, which was just released last month. Now, ALM Octane Enterprise is about being enterprise agile. This is about recognizing that team agile does not mean enterprise agile, where businesses inevitably will demand agile portfolio management, but without the management complexity or hidden costs around it. Right? This is about addressing program and project requirements of distributed teams within the complex portfolio of applications to help consolidate multiple agile release streams into larger, complex solutions. And we do so by enabling what we call shared space customization that helps streamline the different workspaces into a form of parent-child relationship and provide cross-project reporting and program dashboards to help especially PMOs manage for optimal budget use. Now, with ALM Octane, as we plan, build, test, and track for quality application release, we are very excited by the continuous development, the continuous enhancements that is made to ALM Octane by way of content pack releases that is made every quarter. What do you see here, right? And these are long strikes that we've taken. What do you see here are just some of the highlights from the recent Content Pack 4 release that was made earlier this couple months back, right? Where for additional details, we have made a What's New with ALM Octane Content Pack 4 webinar. The webinar URL can be found at the end of this session for your easy access. But just a reminder before I pass the floor back to Esther is that as what Oren has mentioned, right? With ALM Octane, right, we have a new one-on-one license sharing where today you can access ALM or QC licenses, right? For example, ALM licenses, the access ALM licenses that you have to share it or to convert it to ALM Octane Enterprise licenses. Similarly, with Agile Manager, you can take one Agile Manager license to change it up to ALM Octane Pro. And coming soon, as what Oren has mentioned, in early 2018, you'll be able to take your QC Enterprise and convert it to an ALM Octane Pro, right? So we have made it so easy for you to not only optimize on your current QC ALM licenses that you have, but to be able to add additional value off the back of that. So as next steps, I would like to recommend that you take some time to test drive ALM Octane. We have a free trial that's available at the end of this webinar. The links that you can see at the end of this webinar to test drive ALM Octane, and off the back of that, to tap into your current pool of ALM and QC licenses to change it up to ALM Octane at your convenience. So with that, let me pass the mic back to Esther for the next part of this webinar.
Thank you, Colin, and thank you, Oren. Great stuff. Before we wrap up, I'd like to personally invite you, our community of ALM and QC users, to join our R&D Design Partnership Program, or DPP. By participating in this program, you'll get exposure and the ability to influence our newest product innovations. Participants of the DPP get early access to new product features and versions, beta programs, and the innovative projects we frequently run. If you're interested in taking part, please email me at this address. Email the team at this address. In closing, I would like to take a moment to recap the themes from today's session. The first is that we recognize most organizations today are using a mix of development methodologies, and the MicroFocus ALM suite with QC ALM and ALM Octane has been created to support these hybrid environments. We know that waterfall will continue to be the best development methodology for some of your key projects, and that's why we will continue to invest in innovating QC and ALM to serve your business needs. And ALM Octane was created to help you manage your Agile and DevOps projects for quality and test management and provide visibility and traceability across the lifecycle. Your current QC ALM license can be applied towards Octane, so you can get started using it today with no additional investment required. Lastly, we're going to be hosting regional Octane workshops. So look for an upcoming workshop in an area near you. And if you're interested in learning more or scheduling a workshop for you or your company, please send me an email. Now, this is a list of resources Oren and Colin referred to earlier. In here, you can find information on license sharing, the Octane trial, as well as the ALM trials, and what's new in Octane webinar that Colin did recently. We'll send this to you after the webinar, so you'll have access to all these resources. And thanks again, everyone, for attending today's session. Rocky?
Sure, Esther. We've got a few minutes left. I'm not sure if we want to take any questions.
You're right. That's a good idea.
You know, we got probably about 60, 70 questions, but I don't know if you guys just want to pick ones that you can answer quickly, or.
All right. Yeah, I have already referred to some of the questions in writing here, and maybe I'll just call out one or two of those. So, is our link or Skype IM saved to ALM history logging? The answer is at the moment no, but that's something we plan for the future at some point. Is there a document about license sharing in Octane that something that you'll find in the end?
That'll be in the
page?
resource links. Yep, that we share. Yep.
Yeah. The name of the hotfix for license sharing on QC 1253, there is no specific name. You just need to connect our support team and ask for the hotfix related to license sharing between ALM 1253 and the ALM Octane. Limit for the QCP file. So basically, we do not announce any size limit on the QCP files. But we have tested very, very large projects. So far so good. Almost any file size that we tried was okay. Just keep in mind that as large as the file is, the time to create and generate a file is longer.
There were some questions about e-signature too.
Yes, all right. So I'll pick up one about e-signature. E-signature for defects module only. What about the rest of sign-off? So the answer is that this project is provided as not just a demo. It can be practically used if you're running on defects only, but if you want the extended project, if you want it to get across the other entities of ALM, that's something you'll need to take with our professional services who are providing these projects. Okay, maybe I can pick one or two more. Is QOT addition to ALM or part of ALM installation? The answer is that QOT should be downloaded for Marketplace. And as I've shown in the demo, there is no installation for QOT. It's basically a zip file and an executable that is running on Windows, or an APK file that can be installed directly on the Android device. QOT for Octane, that was another question related to QOT, is not yet in Octane. It might be offered for Octane as well in the future.
Another question is QOT references. Yeah, I'm just saying there's a link to the QOT resources in that slide that we sent to attendees as well. Go ahead, Lauren.
Thank you. Is that QOT meant to be a replacement for Sprinter? The answer is no, but it's up to you to decide which tool works better for you. So if Sprinter is basically Windows-based running online only, while QOT offers a mobility, a web application that can be executed, as I mentioned, online and offline. I guess that leads us to the end. It will be a little hard to answer any question, all the questions here. We'll do our best in order to answer all the 68 and counting questions that are coming.
That's great.
But feel free. It's really, really good. We're very happy to answer all questions and to stay in contact. I want to repeat what Esther mentioned about our design partnership program, so you can really have direct access to R&D and to influence the way that we work on the product. As Esther mentioned, we have a lot of plans for ALM. We have a robust agenda. The journey continues, and you are more than welcome to become design partners, beta testers, or any other kind of collaboration. Will make us very happy.
Great. Oh, great job. Great webinar with a lot of content, a lot of demo activity. You can see from that over 70 questions. So the goal here is to record this session, get it back to everyone that attended, as well as those that have registered, couldn't make it. It'll be in our on-demand area. And we'll get it back to you as soon as we get all the questions answered and move in that direction. So thank you guys for everything today. Going forward, we have another special interest group webinar coming up on October 11th. So if you have teams that are focused in the operations area, We have a large special interest group that focuses on the UpsBridge technology, and we've got some great demos lined up from Boeing, Vodafone, SPAR, and a few others that we'll be sharing on October 11th. So make sure that your teams that are in operations that are using the microfocus tools can be aware of this if they haven't been notified already, and to take advantage of that special interest group event. As well, as you know, Discover the New Tour is ongoing as we speak, which is basically just letting everyone know what this new organization is all about, and making sure that you're comfortable with the transition of the technologies that you're using and the support thereof. So there's a long list of locations that the microfocus management team is on tour and reaching hopefully a city near you over the next month or so. And at the end, if you guys can kind of answer the survey to make sure that the content was relevant for you today, as well as any suggestions you may have for future content, we really appreciate that, and we'll go from there. And with that, I think that's my last slide. Yep. So again, thanks for all the folks that attended today, and thanks to the microfocus team that presented. Off and running. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rocky.
You bet.
Thank you.